What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, everybody. Bright and early on a Saturday morning, it is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning, everybody out there listening on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there watching us on our Facebook and YouTube Live. Glad to have you guys with us. Excuse my tardiness this morning. It's that train I be telling y'all about. Y'all got to get up early enough to see this train, man, and it slows down, it stops, it bags up, it moves around, and I got caught with it this morning. But trust me, I am here. Do not worry. The Jaguar Journal will continue on this morning, and we're going to have a lot to talk about in today's show. But what I'm going to do, I got some guests here in the studio that's about to come on. What we're going to do right now is take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce my guests, and we're going to have a full-on discussion about an event coming up during homecoming at Southern University that you definitely need to be a part of. So you guys stay tuned. Let's take a break, and we'll be back, and we'll continue to stay more of the Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And, Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown.
Holmes Jones goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to you. Glad to have you guys with us as we continue the show. Want to thank everybody out there listening to us on Talk 107.3 FM around the Baton Rouge capital city area, and everybody out there watching on our YouTube and Facebook channel. Be sure to subscribe across all social media, Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, and subscribe to the Jaguar Journal YouTube channel, as well as we're on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And I got some very special guests here in the studio. If you are Southern, you should know these names. And it's the family, last name Andrews. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, because I'm going to start with the one who works at Southern. Come on, talk to me.
Well, I don't know if you started me or not, but I'm Donald Andrews. I'm Dean of the College of Business, and I've been Dean now for about 27 years. Wow. Been a great ride and having a lot of fun, and really support the Jaguars and the Jaguar Journal. I guess you guys have been around a while, right?
About as long as you've been over
right.
there.
Yeah. Greg Bushell, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, was a good friend of mine. Yeah. So I'm Dean of the College of Business. We have the best College of Business on planet Earth. We produce millionaires. We help people more or less in terms of starting new businesses. We help people with their corporate careers. So if you want to be successful, come to Southern University College of Business. We have some great programs at the university in general. So I just really want to promote Southern University. And we have our Gala on the Bluff that's coming up on October 17. And it's going to be a great, great show. We have a great lineup. We have Evelyn Champagne King. It's a shame if you remember those songs and all the disco era. So it's going to be a great fun food, folks, and fun. And so we basically want to invite you to that. And we're going to let Agnes Andrews, who's basically the chair of the committee, and she's been working very hard. So we want you to help her and help the students, because education is not cheap. And we need to help these students that need financial support. And so this gala, more or less 100% of the dollars go to help students in terms of scholarship support. So we want to help make sure we can give them Gala on the Bluff scholarships.
So let's go straight to you. He talking like you're not his wife, like you, like, you know. Come on now.
And look, y'all need to get ready for our 50th anniversary party that we're going to have at the end of the year.
50 years.
50 years.
Let the people know who you are.
Hello, everybody out there. I feel right at home here at this station because I have some good friends at Guarantee, Mr. Flynn Foster, Mr. Perry White.
Hello.
Lady Jack. Thank you, lady. But I'm so happy to be here because we have people that really love the university and that really love the College of Business and really love the event that we're about to put on. All of the proceeds from the Gala on the Bluff goes to scholarships for students majoring in business, not in California, even though we love California, but we're doing this for students that major in business on the Baton Rouge campus.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen some young people come to me and say, I got the Gala on the Bluff scholarship. I said, when did you graduate? Oh, I've been out of school for 15 years. I thought, wow, and they remember. So I'm saying to anyone that's listening, we got the event of events, which is going to be homecoming weekend. Now, the event is October the 17th. It's going to be at the Crown Plaza. We have great entertainment. We call it the Food, Folks, and Fun event, where you could actually come out, see people that that was in school when you were in school. You'll see some people that's in school now. You'll see some people like Dean Andrews and I that's almost walking with a walking stick. Not really, because I'm going to be boogieing down. I'm working on my knees. So
I'm going to tell everybody out there, too. She came in, she said, I thought you was an older guy. I'm like, no.
You just sound so knowledgeable. And when Judy told me about you, I said, okay, you mean we could actually go on?
Yeah.
She said, yeah, okay, got it. And I want to thank Guarantee Broadcast for allowing us to come on and sell our heart.
And sponsors.
Oh, yeah, he's been a sponsor. I used to bring some little students in here and let them pitch to him what they're doing. Thankfully, he don't make me do that anymore, and he just send the check. Thank you. Thank you, Flynn Foster. But, yeah, we have the event of events, and we want you to be there to help us, to help the students. Tickets are available. You can get tickets from my office now. My name is Agnes Andrews, and I've been an Allstate agent for 40 years. My office is on Acadian Thruway, and we'll have tickets available there. You can call us for tickets. You can call the College of Business for tickets or our even sponsorship information. Sponsorships are great because you get recognized there. You get brought up to the front. You get a plaque. You get to go first in the food line or however we serve. So, I mean, it really is great. It's a great event, and I'm just glad to talk about it.
Let me ask you, because this is the 23rd Gala on the Bluff.
Right.
How did this thing even get started from an idea to say, okay, 23 years later, here we are?
Well, our advisory council, we have a College of Business advisory council, and one of our advisory council members brought this to us. We used to have a little, meet and greet for our alums during the homecoming, and they said, well, we need to do something. We can do more than this. And that was an event up at Lemoyne Owens College in Memphis, and he went to this particular program. His name is Louis Henry. He's a franchise owner for McDonald's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he said, we should do something like this, right, and a College of Business graduate. And we should do something like this. And so basically we said, well, how can we get this done? How can we get it off the ground? And so we really partnered with some individuals at Lemoyne Owens. We also went over to Tougaloo, did a program over in Jackson, Mississippi. So we went and looked at the program they had over there. And we said, well, this is doable. And we said, well, we got to have some investment dollars. We got to have some startup. And so some of our advisory council members were willing more or less to fund us for initially starting this program because, the event hosters and the food and all that, we had to more or less do a down payment. And so we were able to do that. And the first year we had Lakeside. That was our first group. And ever since then, we've been able to attract people who are not more or less the superstars of today, but they have been the superstars of past days, So, and we can get them at a reasonable price, and they do great work for us, and so we've been running ever since.
Yeah, and I'm just so appreciative to the people, our sponsors. We have local sponsors. We have individuals that contribute anywhere. I don't want to scare you with these numbers because we want you to come. I know I may not be able to do the numbers that they do, but we've got people that are graduates of the Southern University, College of Business. As Dean Andrews said, we make millionaires.
And let me ask you this, in terms of the scholarship dollars, total, where are you guys at now, what you've been able to raise to help give back to students? Because this is important. I remember being a student, how important it was You know, some students wait to the last minute. Hey, I gotta get something. They about to purge me out the system.
Right.
Then you get the students who are, proactive. They let you know in the spring what they need in the fall. But then you got those students. Hey, Doc, they about to get me out the system tomorrow. So for you guys, what have you guys raised so far to date in order to help students
we normally, we have a target of a minimum of $50,000, and normally we come in around $100,000, and we provide scholarship support to students, but we also have a little emergency fund that for students, as you're saying, that have, didn't realize they had an unpaid balance, and so they can't get into school.
Oh,
so
they knew they had.
Well, they tell me they didn't know they had
They
it.
just magically thought it was going to be ignored, but they knew they had it.
Right. Well, we try to make some emergency funds available, so it really helps us in those particular situations. Help those deserving kids that, for some reason beyond their control, or maybe it was within their control, but for whatever reason they can't get into school, especially those students in the last semester who basically maybe have exhausted their financial aid at that particular point. So we try to more or less make sure we can, retain them and get them to the finish line, and they can be more or less in F.G. Clark doing graduation ceremony.
Let's do this one more time before we get ready to get you guys out of here. Give me all of the information for everybody out there listening, where they can purchase the tickets, how much the tickets, the numbers, to call, whatever, the website, whatever they need to know, the dates, the place.
All right.
The website is www.galaonthebluff.com.
Or either is Agnes Andrews, Allstate Insurance Agency on Acadian Thruway. The number is 225-383-0877. And Dean Andrews' number is 225-921-3890. But I want to answer that question that you asked him that he got so excited talking about the emergency fund. Okay, because, see, I was one of those students that had to ride a school bus from New Roads. I'll shout out to New Roads to Southern every day. And my mama told me, you need to save your money. But back then, tuition wasn't like it is now. So we were able to piece together the little money to go to school. So I am so appreciative for the opportunity that I had. I was kind of rebellious then. I didn't want to go to college. I mean, what's that? I don't need that. And I had a very directing mother that said, you going to school because you're not sitting up in here waiting on a job to go and wash clothes for people or whatever. So I'm so glad that she pushed that into me and that I went to Southern and graduated, and I haven't looked back. I met my husband that I've been married to for 50 years. We were able to live pretty close to the American dream, and that's what we're all about. So you know where the tickets are. You know when the event is. You know where the event is at Crown Plaza. It's homecoming. Always remember, as long as we're going to be doing the gala, as long as we're standing, it's the day before homecoming. It's the Friday night.
Homecoming Friday.
Yeah, homecoming. Yeah. And this year going to be the best year ever. But we were so fortunate to have one of our very successful graduates 1 year contribute $1 million.
Really?
Yes, sir. So that really make us look good.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Flint Foster knows.
$1 million every day.
I know, but to give it to these students.
Yeah.
And so that's how the name of the MBA program came about. What's the name of the MBA program, Dean?
Malvo MBA program.
Graduate of Southern. He gave $1 million. We have people. So some years
and we just started a new program. The Alliant Foundation gave us $1 million also to start the risk management and insurance program. So that program is giving out scholarships of about $5,000 each semester.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to hear about that when I was in Atlanta, and they were going around recruiting students, and that was one of the biggest things that they were talking about, this new program for students to want to get into.
Right. Yeah. So we want students to get into the insurance business, and it's a really lucrative industry. Miss Agnes has been in there for 40 years, so we want to go out and create students who basically can have great careers in insurance. And we're going to have some fun. As we said, we have Evelyn Champagne King. We also have Dwayne Dupsey, the Zydeco King. He's going to be there. And we have Harry Anderson's Jazzy Jazz Band that's going to be there as well. So it's going to be food, folks, and fun. We're going to raise some funds for students. It's just going to be a great event. And so we're going to continue this Jaguar legacy.
And Mr. Perry White.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're going to get that train. We're going to
Move that train out the way.
We're going to get that overpass. We're going to get that overpass. We're going to name it the Perry White Overpass.
I so appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate you.
But I'm going to tell all the ladies, you know, we have a chance to dress up, look kind of cute, put on our high heel shoes when we walking in. You know, we all have our little flats for when we dance. So get ready to have a great time. Eat some good food, meet some wonderful people, meet some people with some opportunities that, you know, I'm at this point in my life, 40 years, I'm 49 years old, and, you know, you might want to change careers. I might want to be a radio personality. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
We met a nice young man when we came in. We meet you. I'm just all excited.
Well,
I just thank y'all so much for making this available. And if you forget where to buy the tickets, just remember Allstate on Acadian Thruway. I've been there for 30-something years. Just drop in there and tell us you need a ticket. We're going to help you. The tickets are $250 each. So set aside a little money, you and your significant one, to come out, get pretty, get ready to have some good fun. Say, go Jaguars.
Hey, go Jaguars. I want to thank you guys for coming in this morning and giving us that information. And I will continue to push this for you guys and talk about it as well. And if anybody has any questions, I'll make sure to send them over to you guys.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And
I appreciate
go
it.
Jaguar Journal.
I will appreciate you. All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. We'll come back on the other side and continue more of the conversation. Stay tuned. It's the Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth-quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks. As a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks. Fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is more of the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. It is bright and early on a Saturday morning. Want to thank Dr. Donald Andrews and Agnes Andrews coming in talking to us about the Gala. Be sure to get your tickets to 23rd Annual Gala on the Bluff doing homecoming October the 17th, 2025. Is going to be at the Crown Plaza here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Semi-formal attire, doors open at 7:30 p.m. You know, when it's homecoming, you're always looking for an event to go to, somewhere to enjoy yourself. Well, this is one of the ones to do it. And guess what? It's for a great cause, benefiting scholarships, a fundraising scholarship fund for the College of Business to help those students. And I can tell you firsthand, being a student at Southern, what that's like when, as you hear, you get those students who come in and say, look, I need this, I need that in order to stay in school. How do I make this happen? How do I find funds? And this is exactly the type of things that I like to support, because at the end of the day, I can recall being a student needing those funds. And I understand exactly for the millions of students across the country, school is hard to afford, especially when you're that generation trying to make a change in your family. And a lot of times you don't have the resources of the backing at home or someone who can just come cut that check. You don't have grandma or grandpa who you can just call and say, hey, can I borrow a couple dollars? Hey, can you write this check for my tuition, my housing, my books? So I definitely understand what it means and the importance of being able to give back, and the importance to be able to get this money to help these students, because although I was not in the College of Business, I was in political science. So, but at the end of the day, students are students, and we love Southern University. Our job is to make sure that we help the students, that we make sure we give back to the students, and that we make sure as they matriculate through the system at Southern University, that we do everything we can for them to be successful. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, success. And at the end of the day, those are the stories of Southern that we continue to want to tell. I'm a story of Southern that I continue to tell and talk about all the time, of the people who were in position to help me to see that I was successful, that I'm in the best position to do the right things at the right time, to do what I need to do in life. And that's where I'm at. That's where I am today. So, Mike, let's get ready to do this. Let's take a quick break. When I come back on the other side, I'm going to open up and we're going to talk a little bit more about Southern University. We're going to talk about the SWAC. I want to make sure I got everything prepared and ready for you guys. So let's take a break and we'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
All right, let's pop it off. Perry, week 2, Power 5.
Man, this was tough, man. This time of the year in September, it's all over the place. I real life closed my eyes and kind of picked once you got to the bottom, but it was all honesty. I mean, everybody taking L's right now. Some people picking up wins, but nonetheless, I got North Carolina Central at number 5. They're 1-2 right now, Scotty. They lost to Old Dominion and they lost to New Hampshire. Yeah. But nonetheless, they got a victory over Southern in the first game of the year in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. They've kind of fallen down, but I think at some point Trey Oliver get them back on track. But nonetheless, they're my number 5 team right now, North Carolina Central. And number 4, why not? Alabama A&M did something they ain't did since 2011. They beat Alcorn State. That has to mean something for somebody. And that means Sam Shade has the Bulldogs headed in the right direction if they're doing something they haven't done in years since 2011. So the Bulldogs got a victory over Alcorn. To me right now, I put them at the number 4 spot. Another team in Alabama at the number 3 spots, the Hornets of Alabama State. We all saw what they did against UAB in that back and forth game, and they came down to Baton Rouge, and late in the second half, they asserted their dominance, led by Andrew Body, their quarterback, and the rest of the staff, along with Eddie Robinson as their head coach, has them trended in the right direction. Right now, I think they're the 3rd best team in the nation when you look at the HBCUs. Then let's go to number 2. I'm going South Carolina State. I think Chennis Berry, you talked about it. I talked about it. How close of a game they really kept it in with South Carolina, the Gamecocks, who are ranked number 10 in the nation coming out of the SEC. They got that season open victory against Wofford. Right now, South Carolina State, to me, is still playing at an elite level when we talk about black college football. And I think Berry and their team is the number 2 team in the nation. And then going to Jackson State, still the number 1 team in the nation. Of course, they had to go on the road and deal with Southern Miss. But I think nonetheless, they're going to have Tuskegee this week. Everything is still in front of them. They did what they need to do. They went and got a check. Now, let's see, can they win out with Jacoby Morgan, Ahmad Miller, and the rest of everybody else, along with T.C. Taylor as the head coach. So here's my top 5. It's going to change as the year go on. But right now, where we
134 pounds. If you haven't seen it once, then you only seen it twice. The Honey Bears. Break it down. Ride it, Mount Pony. Oh yeah. Tell the Honey Bears to get some of this. Come on, for sure, for love, sure for love.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning. Glad to have you guys with us. It is a good Saturday morning. Football is upon us, and guess what? Let's talk about last week around the SWAC as we're heading into week 3 this week. Week 2 was last week. Let's look at some games. UT Rio Grande took on Prairie View last week on the road. Rio Grande is a program in their first year on the football level of Division I. Prairie View was down in this ball game, but they battled back, ultimately losing this game 27-21. Just wasn't enough time on the clock for Prairie View as they staged their comeback. They fell short. How about the Cousins up in North Louisiana taking on Ohio State? Grambling went on the road to take on the number 1 team in the nation. And it was, besides the band, that was actually a football game that was played. How about Ohio State in this ball game? 70-0 over Grambling. Grambling, don't schedule that again. Don't. I know Travian Scott, my guy. Travian, don't do it no more. Leave that game alone. We can stay local. We can play Louisiana Tech, ULM. Hell, go play LSU. Stay away from up there in the horseshoe. All right, 70-0. Then Bethune-Cookman goes on the road, takes on number 5 Miami. And the SWAC had a tough weekend taking on some top teams in the nation. Black college football on the Division I side had some tough time taking on some of the tough teams and top teams in the nation. Bethune goes to take on number 5, the Miami Hurricanes, 45-3. It's the final in this one. Then Texas Southern goes out to the West Coast like Southern today. They took on Cal. 35-3 was the final in that one. You see where I'm going with these? You don't hear any stats. I'm not going to give you any stats in none of these games. And then we'll take it to the last one where it was that FBS versus FCS where Jackson State went on the road to take on Southern Miss over in Hattiesburg. 38-20 was the final in that one. Many Jackson State fans thought they were good enough to upset this Southern Miss team, but Southern Miss seemed just to have enough in the tank to keep the lead and to hold on to win this one by 18. Let's keep it going. Last one, Florida A&M on the road taking on Florida Atlantic. FAU 56-14 was the final in this one. Florida A&M falls short to Florida Atlantic. Then Mississippi Valley State goes on the road to take on Tarleton State. 59-3 was the final in that one. A lot of blowouts last week. My God, just a lot to a little scores. Southern is one of those, a lot to a little. Let me just go ahead and put that one out there, but I'll come back to that one. Alcorn State going on the road, taking on Alabama A&M. Alabama A&M getting the victory, 41-31. It was Alabama A&M's first time beating Alcorn State. Get this, people, since 2011. Y'all heard me right. It was Alabama's A&M's first time beating Alcorn State since 2011. 41-31 was the final score in that one. And then Pine Bluff up at UAPB. They had an Arkansas FCS matchup taking on Central Arkansas. 41-17, the final in that one. UAPB found some opportunities early, but could not capitalize on them, forcing some turnovers. They got on the board early in that one, 7-0. But ultimately, UCA on their next 5 drives just took it to the end zone on the Golden Lions and ultimately won that ball game. And then right here on the Bluff, the big game that we circled as the game of the week last week, Southern University taking on Alabama State. Of course, Alabama State had just had that back-and-forth game with UAB, the University of Alabama at Birmingham the week before. And then they came into Baton Rouge. 52-42 was the final score in that one with Alabama State, and UAB. And now, Alabama State and Southern. And I'm going to open up the phone lines at the 8 o'clock hour for you guys to talk to me about it because Southern played fairly well in the opening 2 quarters, right? First half, kept it close. They did a great job defensively at containing Andrew Body, did not allow the big plays, kept him uncomfortable in the pocket, rushing him, getting some sacks, fumbles as well. Just didn't look comfortable. But then in the second half, Alabama State's offense started taking advantage of the miscues by Southern's defense, and they slowly but surely chipped away. And Southern's offense did not make it any better because of the turnovers. And let's look at this ball game as we go back into it. Alabama State in this one, 20 first downs, 4 of 10 on third downs, and they were 0 of 1 on fourth down. 369 total yards of offense for the Hornets, 198 yards in the air, 171 on the ground. On the other side for Southern University, 18 first downs. They were 9 of 15 on third down, 0 of 1 on fourth down. 339 total yards of offense for Southern University, 160 in the air, 179 on the ground. The problem in this ball game that really hurt Southern, and it almost cost Southern the game before against Mississippi Valley. Let's just put it out there, the turnovers. 4 turnovers in this ball game for Southern, 2 by way of fumble, 2 by way of interception. Southern just had a tough day being able to maintain the ball. Andrew Body for Alabama State, 16 of 25, 198 yards in this ball game, throwing for 2 touchdowns, a very modest day. Horseclaw, the running back for Alabama State, 14 carries for 52 yards. His longest of the game was 13 yards. And how about a former running back at Southern University, an Alabama native now at Alabama State, Carl Ligon, 8 carries for 49 yards in this ball game. On the other side for Southern, a tough day for Cameron McCoy. He was 14 of 29, passing for 160 yards, threw his first touchdown of the season, as well as 2 interceptions to go along with it. Trey Holly from the running back position, 15 carries, 70 yards in this ball game. His longest was 13 yards run on the day. Cameron also added 55 yards on the ground with 11 carries. Mike Franklin tacked on 48 yards with 8 carries, and then Barry Remo, 3 carries for 6 yards. How about Cam Jefferson, the leading receiver in this one, 2 receptions for 53 yards and a touchdown off a 46-yard long touchdown pass and grab. Darren Morris in this one, 3 receptions for 38 yards. If you get where I'm going with it, Southern are only able to put up 7 points on the board. Turnovers don't help. Interceptions, fumbles, miscues. Now, from my personal experience watching this game, and you guys know I don't sugarcoat it, I don't have a problem. And hey, I told y'all last week, when I picked Alabama State, if I was wrong, I will give you the entire 2 hours as the Jaguar Nation to call and tell me how horrible of a picker I am. And I normally don't go against Southern. Hardly ever have you heard me here on the Jaguar Journal go against Southern. But I think my eyes worked. I think what I saw for the sample size for the first 2 games of the season in week 0 against North Carolina Central and in week 1 on the road in Itabena. Itabena, I took it, a win is a win, but I think anybody who watched that game knew we were in trouble. No Southern football program should be struggling with Mississippi Valley State ever. That's why Southern holds the all-time record 41-9 over Mississippi Valley. That's why the last time Southern lost to Valley 6-0, it got a coach fired in Stump Mitchell. There's no knock on Mississippi Valley, but the distance in the program is there. But it's not so much there this year. Now, watching Southern in that game against North Carolina Central, let's go back and look at that game. If it is not for the 2 explosive plays, one from Trey Holly, the other one from Cam McCoy, Southern doesn't score in that ball game. But I'm not going to do the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Offensively, Southern sits back, it runs the ball inside zone, seems to be the play to go to. It's either to the left or it's to the right, no doubt about it. But at the same time, let's look at just the offensive production. The numbers are there, but Southern is no longer able to get into the end zone. And before I get into the offense, because at the 8 o'clock hour, I'm going to break down this entire offense for you, and I'm going to go back all the way to 2017 to now. I'm going to give you a full analysis of Southern's offense over the years to where we were to where we at now. But Southern's offense isn't the only problem. Southern's defense has been giving away plays. But what do you say when your offense is on and off the field and keeping your defense out there? On the other side, I think an area that has really become atrocious to me, special teams. If you're going to be a champion in the SWAC, if you're going to be a championship program, period, 3 phases of the game right now, Southern does not look good in all 3 phases of the game. It's constructive criticism. Take it how you want it. I know sometimes coaches and many others at Southern, they listen to this show. They don't like what I say, but I'm not lying. If I'm lying, call in and tell me I'm a liar. 225-499-1073. Say, period, White, you a lie. And I say, okay. Let's break it down. Let's see where I'm lying at. But as much as I love Southern, I got to be a truth teller. I'm not going to sit here and act like because I graduated from Southern, I cover Southern, I love Southern, that it looks like the brand of football we want at Southern, because it does not. Right now, the direction of what this program looks like is not championship caliber football, because we've had an opportunity this year to play 2 teams who are possible championship caliber programs, and that's in North Carolina Central. Don't let the 1-2 record fool you right now where they stand after they play Southern. They had to play Old Dominion and New Hampshire. Mike, look at the phone line. Somebody might be calling telling me I'm a lie this morning, and I'm willing to listen to it. Let's look at where they stood against Alabama State, who's a possible threat for a SWAC East Division title. We got on the line? Chuck, give me something real quick. I got about a minute. Good morning.
Good morning. What you were talking about, hey, you made a prediction. You did it from it was in your conscience to do that. It doesn't matter if you're graduating from the school, but also I'm gonna land on this one. Hey, you know, when it comes to you going and getting players out of the portal, I watched Edna Carr and American Heritage last night, 2 nationally ranked teams in the Superdome, and Edna Carr pulled it down 24-17 in overtime. And a lot of those guys there, you never start hearing 4- and 5-star going to LSU and all these other schools. And I said, well, you're missing out on these guys. You don't know who you have. And even those who are not those 4- and 5-star, you have a lot of talent out there on that Superdome turf down there in New Orleans. I'm going to land on that one.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right.
Just being honest, y'all. People can say, hey, have you been a coach before? No. I know football. I officiated. And I understand what it takes to have thick skin. Do you know how many people yell and cuss and fuss from the sidelines to the stands? I can take constructive criticism. I don't get in my feelings about it. If it's something I know I've done wrong, I fix it and I work on it. If it's something, it just comes with the territory. That's why I have no problem coming on here having these conversations, and then people side-eye me and look at me any type of way. It don't bother me. I'm going to be okay. I got thick skin. Words ain't going to bother me. I'm okay if somebody constructively criticizes me. If it's something I can get better, I get it all the time in my profession. Hey, work on your mechanics. Hey, look at this. Hey, watch this. I watch a ton of football film. I've seen a ton of football to know what's good football, a good brand of football, and what's a bad brand of football. And if you want my honest opinion right now, what I see from Southern University in 2025 is not a good brand of football. Some of you out there can agree. Some of you can disagree. 3 games in, I think I'm noticing what it is. If I was to grade offense, defense, special teams right now, and I'm a tough grader. Offense, you borderline D-F. The production is there, but it's not doing anything to get us into the end zone. From the quarterback position, we finally, 3 games into the season, against FCS opponents, got the quarterback to pass over 100 yards in the game. Defense, about the best thing we got going, and it's still not where I think it should be. I give a defense a D+, a low C, and I'm being generous. Special teams right now, F. I do not like what I see out of special teams. From missed field goals to no return game to bad punting, I do not like what I see out of special teams. But guess what? That's just my opinion. You can agree to disagree. I'm not the coach at Southern. Many at Southern will look and say, well, I don't like what he has to say. That's on you. All right, everybody, we got to get ready to take a break. We're at the top of the hour. When we come back on the other side, I'm going to break down this offense a lot more for you. I'm going to look at offensive production from 2017 to now. I'll give you a full rundown of where we at as Southern University has now made a change at offensive coordinator position in terms of play calling from Mark Fredericks to now Fred McNair. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we unite as one band, one sound, and one heart for a purpose beyond entertainment. This performance is dedicated to SU band member Caleb Wilson, who was lost in a recent tragedy. Join us with the Wilson family because they're here tonight. Caleb Wilson, this one is for you. To God be the glory. Director Now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2025-2026 edition of the Fabulous Jackson.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. We're at the 8 o'clock hour. Glad to have you guys with us. I'm Perry White. Good morning to you all. Good morning, everybody listening on our Talk 107.3 airways across the Baton Rouge capital city area. And good morning to everybody out there watching on our YouTube and on our Facebook Live. Glad to have you as well. Join the conversation down in the comment section. It's always entertaining to watch that. And be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal across all social media, TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And if you want to call in this morning, 225-499-1073 is the number. 225-499-1073 is the number. You can talk to me about what you see good, what you see bad, about the change at the offensive coordinator position. Talk to me about whatever you want in terms of this team. Or if you don't want to talk, you can sit back and listen to me because I could talk all day. But I also like to give people opportunities to talk. But what I'm about to do right now, I'm going to give you a breakdown of Southern University's offense over the years and where we have ranked our leading players, where you stand in terms of all conference. Mike, check out that phone, as well as everything else you want to see in terms of where we were to where we at right now. Now, I'm going to break this down completely. Let's look at Southern University's offense going back into 2017. In 2017, the Jaguars went 7-4 and 5-2 in conference play. The two losses, a 31-48 loss to Alcorn and a 21-30 loss to Grambling in the Bayou Classic and Devontae Kincaid. That year, Southern's offense ranked number 2 in scoring in the conference, averaging 33 points a game. Now, I want you guys to listen to this breakdown. I'm going to give you the numbers and everything you need to hear. 2017, Southern's offense ranked second in scoring, averaging 33 points a game. They were second in the conference in total offense, averaging 473 yards a game. They were number 1 in rush offense, averaging 270 yards a game, and number 2 in pass offense, averaging 203 yards a game in 2017. The leading passer, of course, was Austin Howard for the team, who was number 2 in the SWAC. Jamar Washington led all receivers that year at number 7 in the SWAC. He was 7th ranked in the SWAC. And Herb Edwards was the number 1 rusher in the SWAC that year in 2017. Let's go on to 2018. Southern University goes 7-4, 6-1 in conference play. 2 losses, 3-20 to Alcorn. Remember that homecoming loss? And 28-37 in the SWAC championship. Southern won a SWAC Western Division title. Let's look at the offensive production. Southern ranked number 4 in the SWAC in scoring that year, averaging 28 points a game. They were 6th in the SWAC in total offense, averaging 371 yards a game. They were number 3 in the SWAC in rush offense, averaging 200 yards a game. They were 7th in the SWAC that year in pass offense, averaging 171 yards passing a game. Ladarius Skelton was the quarterback after Austin Howard. Skelton in this one, he was number 10 in the SWAC in rushing, 530 rushing yards with 8 touchdowns, getting that start midway through the season. Devon Ben, the leading rusher on the team, number 6 in the SWAC, 788 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Trey Smith from the wide receiver position that year was 7th in the SWAC with 481 yards and 8 touchdowns. Now, let's go back to 2017 and 2018. Let's take a look at that. Because those years, let's start with 2017. Southern had 2 all-SWAC performers that year. First team was tight end Dylan Beard in 2017. Second team, offensive lineman Christian Rodriguez. Now, in 2018, Southern had 2 all-SWAC performers. First team, offensive line Jodeci Harris. And second team, offensive line Jalen Brinson. Just want to make sure you keep up with the numbers as well as all SWAC selections. Now let's go to 2019. Southern University goes 8-5 that year, 6-1 in conference play. Southern had 2 losses that year, both to the hands of Alcorn. 13-27 and 24-39 in the SWAC championship game. Southern won the SWAC Western Division title in 2019. In 2019, Southern's offense was 4th in scoring, averaging 32 points a game. They were 7th in total offense in the conference, averaging 403 yards a game. They were the number 1 rushing team in the SWAC at 228 yards a game, and they were 9th in pass offense at 174 yards a game. Ladarius Skelton that year ranked 6th in the SWAC in rushing with 870 rushing yards on the ground with 14 touchdowns. He was 9th in passing with 1,642 yards passing and 13 touchdowns, 27 touchdowns total. Devon being 7th in the SWAC in rushing with 806 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. And Hunter Register was the leading rusher for Southern, but he was 12th in the conference in the SWAC with 610 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. In 2019, Southern University had 3 all-SWAC performers on offense. Offensive lineman, first team, Jeremiah Abbey. Second team, running back, Devon Ben, and offensive lineman, Jodeci Harris. Now, 2020, we all know, was COVID, but then we had the 2021 spring season. Let's go there. Southern University 5-1 overall, 4-1 in conference play. Their lone loss was a 30-33 loss to UAPB at home, the only home game of the spring. Now let's look at Southern's offensive production this year. In the spring, Southern was ranked 2nd in the conference in scoring offense, averaging 37 points a game. They were 2nd in total offense, averaging 430 yards a game. They were the number 1 rushing offense in the conference, rushing for 211 yards a game, and they were 6th in the conference, averaging 219 passing yards a game. Ladarius Skelton ranked 6th in the conference with 317 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Gerard Sims ranked 7th, right behind Skelton in the conference, with 7th in rushing yards with 255 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. And Ethan Howard, the tight end, was the leading rusher. He was 9th in the SWAC with 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now let's look at all SWAC performers in that spring 2021. First team, you had running back Gerard Sims, offensive lineman Brian Williams, offensive lineman Dallas Black, offensive lineman Jatari Carter, tight end Ethan Howard. That's all first team. Let's go to second team. Offensive lineman Jonathan Bishop, offensive lineman Jeremiah Stafford. All right, now we go to 2021, the fall season. This is now the transition. Dawson Odoms has since now signed a contract and moved over to Norfolk State. Now this is the Jason Rollins era for that fall. Southern goes 4-7 overall, 3-5 in conference play. Offensive production still high. Southern was 2nd in the conference in scoring for 37 points a game. They had Ladarius Skelton in this one with Gerard Sims and Ethan Howard, who were all there to help. But the issue in this season was we had an issue with the quarterback position. We saw Glendon Bubba McDaniel in this one. We saw a little John Lampley in this one. And we never could with Zach Grossi as the offensive coordinator truly seem to get the identity, because for me, Zach Grossi wanted a more passing attack. With Southern, as you can see in the past, the offense was built for more of a heavy rush attack. 4-7, 3-5 was Southern's first losing season since 2012. Then we move on to 2022. Southern goes 7-5, 5-3. Lost to Jackson State in the SWAC championship, 24-43. Southern claims the SWAC Western Division title. Now Eric Dooley is taking over, coming over from Prairie View. Southern's number 2 in scoring, averaging 31 points a game. They're number 2 in total offense, 398 yards a game. They're number 2 in rush offense, 201 yards a game. And they're number 6 in pass offense, 196 yards a game in the conference. Bashawn McCray led the way. He was number 8 in the conference, ranked 8th in the SWAC with 1,616 passing yards and 13 touchdowns. He also was ranked 11th in the SWAC in rushing with 652 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. Carl Ligon, who is now at Alabama State, who we saw last week, was the leading rusher on the team. He was ranked 14th in the SWAC with 570 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. Cassius Allen was the leading receiver. He was ranked 14th in the SWAC and receiving, 407 yards, receiving 3 touchdowns. Let me point out something that was interesting about this 2022 season. Southern went scoreless in 2 games in 2022. We lost to Texas Southern 24-0. We lost to Jackson State 35-0. This is where I start to circle offensive issues, truly to where we see we're led up today. This is the season, the 2022 season. 2021, I'll equate because Jason Rollins, Zach Grossi, he had his idea. Southern was built for something else. We kind of throw that in the wash. Even though that was a championship caliber team that Southern fans believe. And that season, we had 3 offensive linemen in 2021 who all made first team all SWAC. Offensive lineman Dallas Black, offensive lineman Jonathan Bishop, offensive lineman Jatari Carter in 2021, the fall. Now we get to 2022, and I'm telling you about, we're starting to get those areas where Southern is now 2 games in 1 season with 0 points on the board. 2 all-SWAC selections in 2022. First team all-conference, offensive lineman Dallas Black. Second team all-conference, Jeremiah Stafford. Now let's move to 2023. Southern goes 6-5, 5-3 in conference play. Southern's offense is ranked 6th in scoring, averaging 23 points a game, 8th in total offense, averaging 327 yards a game, 10th in rush offense, averaging 111 yards a game. You see where the transition, where we went from the best rushing team to now 10th? I'm just pointing it out, a timeline to how we got to where we are, where you can see the drastic change. 4th in pass offense and 215 yards a game. Harold Blood was ranked 6th in the SWAC in 2023 with 1,963 yards passing with 13 touchdowns. Kendrick Grimes was the leading rusher for Southern. He ranked 7th in the SWAC with 660 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns. And August Petrie III ranked 10th in the SWAC. He was the leading receiver for Southern. He was 10th in the SWAC with 441 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. You want to know something about Southern's offense interesting in 2023? Not one single player from Southern's offense was selected to all SWAC. First team or second team. Now let's go to 2024. Southern goes 8-5, 7-1 in conference play. They lost 13-41 to Jackson State in the championship. Southern reclaims the SWAC Western Division title. Offensive production. Southern ranked 10th in the SWAC in scoring, averaging 20 points a game. They were 4th in the SWAC in total offense, 364 yards a game. They were 5th in the rushing, averaging 156 yards a game, and 4th in passing, averaging 207 yards a game. Noah Biden, regardless of the musical chairs, was still the leading passer on this team. He ranked 9th in the SWAC with 1,219 yards and 5 touchdowns. Kobe Dillon was the leading rusher. He ranked 6th in the SWAC with 801 yards rushing and a touchdown. And Chandler Whitfield led the receivers for Southern, and he was 10th in the SWAC with 411 yards and 4 touchdowns. Once again, you want an interesting stat? In 2024, not one single offensive player from Southern was selected the first or second team all-SWAC selection. Now, the areas I want you to start to pay attention to are the numbers that I'm talking about in scoring per game, scoring offense. In 2023 and 2024, you start to see the numbers drop from where Southern was typically within the top 5 of scoring offense to now in 2023, you drop below that to be number 6. And in 2024, you're number 10. No all-SWAC selections the past 2 years. Now let's look at 2025 with a preseason all-SWAC selection. Southern's only preseason all-SWAC selection coming into this year was second team tight end Dupree Fuller. And let's look at Southern's offensive production today up until this point. Southern's record 1-2. A 31-14 loss to North Carolina Central. A 30-7 loss to Alabama State. Southern currently ranked 7th in the conference in scoring, averaging 18 points a game today. 4th in total offense, 347 yards a game. 2nd in rush offense, 217 yards a game. Southern is dead last at number 12 in the conference, ranked number 12 in pass offense, averaging 130 yards a game. Cameron McCoy right now ranks number 11th in the SWAC in passing, only 312 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Trey Holly ranks 5th in the SWAC right now in rush, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Darren Morris ranks 20th in the SWAC with only 96 yards and 8 touchdowns, 3 games in going into game 4 today. Let's get ready to take a break. Just ponder on that. I'll take some callers, 225-499-1073. Let's take a break. Stay tuned. More to Jaguar Journal.
Quincy Richard is the quarterback. And Don, this is a man who's really changed his game from last season, and he's a graduate student as well.
Yes, he has, Bob. Quincy Richard has matured into the unquestioned leader of this Southern University offensive attack. 10 wins this season, and he set school marks for passing yards and touchdown passes. And Bobby's had a lot of help. Only 5 sacks on the season.
He earned his undergraduate degree back in August. He's taking some master's classes, and he wants to be a lawyer.
Here's Richard looking in the end zone. Has a man there. Touchdown, Southern University.
Play clock down to 3. Richard gets it off over the middle. Touchdown!
Holmes goes in motion and comes set on a 1st and 10. Richard completes it. That's Ard. Ard down the sideline. He could go. And finally pushed out of bounds. Richard's run for 10 touchdowns this season. He's going to keep it. Richard goes in. Make it 11 for Quincy Richard. Richard wide open. Touchdown, Chris Davis. Oh, does he love playing football even more now?
That in the flag against Grambling, holding on the kickoff.
Richard looking deep, and it's a touchdown.
But only 3 times did he go down. Twice he ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a sack.
2nd and 8. The deep ball, and that's our man, Chris Davis, for the touchdown. Time for today's State Farm Players of the Game. And from Southern University, the quarterback, number 15, Quincy Richard, 34 of 42, 552 yards, 5 touchdown passes.
Quincy, on behalf of State Farm Insurance Companies, I want to present you with a trophy for the most outstanding player today. Congratulations.
All right, everybody, we are back. It is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning, everybody out there listening on Talk 107.3 FM, and everybody keeping track of us on our Facebook Live and our YouTube Live. I saw someone said give them the content of the offensive coordinators over that time. From 2017 to 2019, where I started with this, Chennis Berry was the offensive coordinator. Starting in 2021, we had Zach Grassi that spring and the fall here at Southern University. In 2022 to 2023, Eric Dooley was the offensive coordinator. And from 2024 to currently where we at now, Mark Fredericks is the offensive coordinator for everybody out there to have a better understanding of where I'm at. For the past 2 years, Southern has not had an all-SWAC selection on offense in 2023 and 2024. And coming into this season, preseason all-SWAC selection, Southern had only one player, and that's second-team tight end Dupree Fuller. Let's get ready to go to the phone lines. I think we got Damien on the line. Good morning, Damien. How are you?
Morning, Perry. How's it going?
Going good, man. Talk to me.
Well, like I said 2 weeks ago, Graves has to prove that he can be a general, then lieutenant, especially after now giving Fred McNair co-OC duties. And if things don't improve, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they're going to be thrown out the door like Jesse Jeff from Uncle Phil. Plain simple. And those four-quarter pep talks that Coach Graves gives, they won't mean a damn thing unless you don't win.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Plain simple.
That's all you got for me?
That's pretty much it, boss. I mean, like I said, we had to improve on all cylinders of the game. If we can't, see ya.
Appreciate the call, Damon.
Thanks, boss.
All right. I'm just laying it out plain and simple for you guys. See, that's what happens when we normally – all I can do for you is do the research and give you the numbers and give you the proof and the pudding, the facts. It's not opinionated anymore. It's the facts. Who we got on the call line? Let's go to CJ. Good morning, CJ.
Good morning, Perry. Glad you got that train situation taken care of. Good you're able to operate, while you're on duty and take care of business. That's what we seem to have a little problem with. Perry, I don't know if we put the fault with the players or do we put the fault with the coaches? Because, the players are trying to perform, I see, but for some reason the schemes are just not working. Looks like we don't have the personnel to match the coaching. We don't have the personnel to match the scheme. We don't have the personnel to do what we need to do on offense versus what we was doing last year on defense. We lost a few guys, but, man, this is a totally 100% turnaround on defense. We're not doing what we was halfway doing last year, and we're supposed to have gotten better athletes. So I'm just asking the question. We're not going to win 5 games this year, bro. I mean, it's going to be the worst turnaround I have seen in a long time. The next 3 or 4 games, we're going to lose them games. We're going to lose today big. We're going to lose against Jackson State. We're going to lose against Florida A&M. Alabama A&M, too, going to beat us.
Well, the good thing about it, CJ, we don't have Alabama A&M this year.
Well, thank you, because they looked pretty good.
You just looking at any team in the SWAC, say they're going to beat Southern at this point, huh?
Yes, sir. Fairview going to probably come in. But we is it because we don't have the athletes? Is it we not prepared to coach what we got to be a champion? Now, if that's the case, Perry, we need to look at what we hired as coaches and stop playing the game of people telling you who to hire, and you go to hire them just so you can play the political game right. It has really gotten caught up because we've gotten the last 2 choices was Pete Richardson guys, and they just have not come in as head coaches and did the job, bro.
Yeah.
Now, we just need to sit back. We're paying a good salary. $300,000 is a good salary for the coach on this level. We're not getting what the pay is paying for performance. So I appreciate what you're doing. You're taking a big leap today talking about the things you're doing, but all you're doing is just producing the facts, and the facts don't lie. Now, of course, they don't help you win nothing either, but I'm glad you're doing what you're doing to just show the people where we are today versus where we were yesterday.
Thank you for the call, CJ.
Keep up the good work. All right.
That's all I can do for you guys. It's a tough conversation. Jobs on the line, people's livelihood. I get it. That's what makes it hard to do what I do, to come on here publicly. That's why a lot of people don't call into the show, because publicly they don't want nobody to know what I think. I don't want to say it out loud. I got a job to do here. And it's nothing personal. It's strictly business. It's what it's always been. It's what it's going to always be. But we got to get back on track, and I got to agree with CJ for sure. The hires that we continue to make. Now, I'm going to give Coach Graves an opportunity this year. Look, I'm not off the train. I still love Southern. I'm not saying in no way I want Southern to lose the games. I want Coach Graves and staff to get this thing together. I'm sure you guys do too. I want you to get it back together. I want you to be successful. That's the part where the messy people out there miss it, where they only hear the constructive criticism and they take that and run, but then they don't come back and say, Perry still's there. Perry still talks about us. Perry wants us to be successful. I got on Southern stuff right now. If I didn't care, I would have came on the show with Alabama State stuff on this morning. I picked them to win. But me picking a team to win has nothing to do with loyalty. It has everything to do with truth. Analytics. Watching the games. Understanding what it is that you see. Evaluating what you see and looking at it. That's how you look at the games. That's how I watch film too. A lot of y'all don't even watch films of these teams. You look at a game and then you're done. And then you see this opponent come in and you just take the opponent for the name that you see and not necessarily for the brand that they bring to the table. And the brand is the level of football, the style of football, the schemes. What do you see? That's all I'm saying. The late Dr. Everett Gibson once told me Southern did this same thing what we're seeing now in the 70s when A.W. Mumford passed away, and Southern went the entire 70s trying to hire every coach that was on the staff of A.W. Mumford to try to recreate the success that A.W. Mumford had at Southern University. Now we're back in that position again where I know we love Pete Richardson. I love Pete Richardson. Pete spoiled us. Pete was like the dad that no matter what store you went into, he said, and you said you wanted something, he gave it to you, and you couldn't help but be in love like he spoiled you to death. But I think eventually now that the powers that be, whether it's somebody on the board, whether it's a booster, whatever the case may be as it may, however that you feel, your experiment, you have continuously tried it, and you see where we are today. And I guess in that situation, if it is the powers beyond the athletic director, Roman Banks is the fall guy for decisions. Because at the end of the day, the decision looked like it was made by Roman Banks. That is just the honest conversation. I'm just saying it publicly because most of y'all out there already know this conversation. Nobody just has said it aloud. I say it aloud, no problem. No, I don't have an issue with it. Once again, it's nothing personal. It's strictly business. Business is selling tickets. Business is getting donors. Business is getting the right people in position to make us successful, because if we're going to take this, Southern is the standard, we damn sure don't look like it. But there's a whole season ahead. You know, when parents say when you get in trouble, I have to first discipline you, then love you and let you know why I disciplined you, because I love you at the end of the day. No matter who I name, no matter who's brought up, still nothing but love. Don't take it personal. Don't see me and get in your feelings. And hey, your job is being based by the performance of the public, because the public has to pay tickets and travel and support and do everything to give back to you to be successful. So it comes with the territory. Get some thick skin and let's go to work. And right now, let's go to a break. I got to take one. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back more at the Jaguar Journal. It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well, because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
Best, and they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks. As a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks. Fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Good morning. Glad to have you guys on. Good morning, everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge, capital city area, and everybody watching on our Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Glad to have you guys with us. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal as we continue to grow. We want you to grow with us across all social media. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We're also on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Now, listen, this conversation I'm having with you guys this morning is just an honest conversation. Now, because I bring up Roman Banks as the athletic director, listen, football is just one aspect of athletics. On the other aspect of athletics, I'm not talking about none of that right now. So for those of you that's going to run and tell it, I'm not talking about the rest of that right now. That ain't the subject of today's conversation. Today's conversation is strictly football. None of that other stuff. I'm not talking about no other sports. I get there when I get there. But I'm talking strictly football. But also, people, we got to do our parts. We know the game has changed. We understand NIL is different now. The transfer portal, NIL adds a whole new element to the game of football. I say that to say because that's where the support of us to the program starts. Every coach I bring on here, no matter the program, I always make sure they give out their information for you out there to then sow back into that program. Whether it's financially, whether it's whatever resources that you have, it starts with us as well. And it goes beyond season tickets. I also make sure that I hold us accountable just as much as I hold our coaches and administrative team accountable. What's a leader if you don't know how to follow? So we got to do the necessary things that we can do on our end. Always got to put that out there. Hold ourselves accountable. And when somebody's constructively criticizing or being serious on the matter, there's no hate. There's no animosity. It's nothing but love. I say these things because I love Southern University. I love Terrence Graves. I love his whole staff. I love Roman Banks. I love all. Look, I ain't got no hate. I ain't got no problems with nobody. But the fact of the matter is what we saw on Saturday and what we've seen 3 games into this season on the football side of things, because it is football season. This is what you guys been waiting on. Football leads the way in terms of the support. Football is the front door to the institution. It is what gets us on national television. It is the major exposure for the university. And at Southern, our fans seem to want a brand of football that is right on par with championship caliber. Anything less than that is where we at today. Now, this week in the press conference, Southern University head coach Terrence Graves has made the announcement that Fred McNair, former head coach at Alcorn State, quarterbacks coach at Southern, will now be the co-offensive coordinator, and play calling will now be held by him. He has relieved Mark Frederick of his play calling duties. Now I'm in the wait and see. I would love to sit back and wait and see. Today is not going to give us any indication, but I guess it does give Fred McNair an opportunity, as they say, dip his toe in the water a little bit. Gives him an opportunity. Today's strictly football, ladies and gentlemen. I want to reiterate that. But I got to hold the powers that be at Southern. Those decision makers, you are the reason we're in this situation. You are the reason the panic button is being hit right now. Whoever's in the process of picking coaches, you are the reason. Hold yourself accountable. We continue to make the decisions that we make, and then we act like it don't affect anybody. Hold yourself accountable. There's nothing wrong with it. That's a great leader by holding themselves accountable. Accountability is key. Don't run away from it. And those that know who they are, they know exactly who they are. We seem to keep making these same decisions over and over and over and not realize what it does to the base and the supporters and the people. And the people ain't getting no younger. I can imagine in the early 2000s when I looked at that Southern Alabama State game, did you see the stands? I can imagine in the 90s and the 2000s, early 2000s, and the 80s and whatever else, those stands would have been filled and packed. They were not. The bottom line is the brand. The bottom line is how serious are we truly about the brand? Now, the season is ahead of us. Once again, the way I explain Southern's program is just SWAC good. But if you're going to win a Black College National Championship in the Celebration Bowl, you can't be SWAC good, because let me tell you about the MEAC over there. They not playing with you. You know why Jackson State won the SWAC championship last year? They're better than SWAC good. They play all 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. No matter whose number is called, as we saw in the SWAC championship, next guy up, they ready to play. They are prepared. They have recruited, and they scheme. You heard the defensive coordinator when they asked him about Southern's offense. What do you see anything different? And he looked there at a smack in the face to us and said, same team, as though no, nothing. FAMU won a Black College National Championship against Howard. You know why? They were better than SWAC good. My idea of Southern's football program, Southern has to build a program that, in my opinion, can be an FCS top 25 program. When was the last time Southern's program was ranked in the top 25 of FCS football? When was the last time Southern's program beat another FCS football program in the state of Louisiana who has many programs not named Grambling State? That has to be the mindset when you're looking at a coach when we're looking at this program, can we beat somebody outside of the SWAC that's a Division I? What does it look like to build a program to be a top 25 program? All around us, we have seen top 25 programs from Southeastern to Nichols to McNeese, all on the FCS level. Now, Grambling is not what they used to be, but of course, traditionally a top 25 team as well. But Southern has not been a consistent top 25 looking program in the FCS. Southern is barely looking like a top 50 program in the FCS. Nichols did not win another game after they beat us 55-7 last year. McNeese beat us that year over in McNeese. Didn't look good the rest of the year. The same goes with Northwest. I'm trying to paint a picture here, and I hope I'm loud and clear for those who are listening, for the decision makers. What is it that you want from Southern? Do you just want to relive and make it look like the 90s? Do you want it to look like the 90s? And why do you feel it's got to be a coach from Pete Richardson's tree? And if all honesty, if you want the truth, Dawson Odom's tree looks a little tougher right now, doesn't it? No knock on nobody. But Chennis Berry and Trey Oliver have played for Black College National Championships as head coaches. Head coaches. But something has to be done. We got to circle it. We got to be honest. We got to be truthful. We got to have a direction. We got to see what it is that we really want to be. Because right now, I don't think nobody really has a clue. And I'm not talking about the coaches. The coaches have a clue. They're trying to work it out. That's why you heard Terrence Gray. I'm talking about the powers that be, who constantly interfere and want things to go their way. And then when it goes their way, they back up and somebody got to be the fall guy. If Southern is the standard, I want Southern to be a top 25 program. I think Southern is long overdue with the success in its history to be able to go out here and be a legit looking mid-major team. When I say mid-major, somewhere around that group of 4. We have a history. Now we got to work together and get our funding together. We got to work together and pull in all of our support and our resources. We need a shot in the arm. Right now, it don't look good. And that's in all honesty. It ain't going to look good today either. It ain't going to get any better today with Fresno. I'm just letting you know. Just be prepared for that score. It ain't going to get any better. Once again, like I always say, people at this point want to know one question. Is your band coming? Because they damn sure don't give a care about our football team right now. And because we're just SWAC good, I think right now we're on par with like what we saw a lot of close games last year. Prairie View, Texas Southern, all those games that went down, Alcorn, those teams ain't no better than us. We all about right there. And then that's why you see it was Jackson State up above everybody else. And then once you get past those teams, you get the bottom, the Mississippi Valley, the UAPB. So I think ahead of us, we're going to have some close games. I think Prairie View, Texas Southern, Alcorn, all of those are going to be different outcomes than what you see with Alabama State and what you're going to see with Jackson, because those teams don't have the offensive production when you look at consistency at the quarterback position. They're like Southern. They're still trying to figure it out offensively. That's what's going to make those games close. Last year, the ball just so happened to bounce in favor of Southern. We had to come back in the fourth quarter against Prairie View. We had to come back, and hell, I thought the game was over against Texas Southern if it wasn't for a bad special team play. That's what I'm saying. When you look at these other teams, they don't play 3 phases of the game, which gives us an opportunity. But it's when you get championship opportunities where we fall flat. That ain't the standard. Just being SWAC good, if that's what you want to be, But I thought we want to be championship good. That is the standard. That is what we're supposed to be holding ourselves to. And every time we get an opportunity to put that in championship where the lights are bright, I talk about this all the time. Everybody's watching. What do? Find a way to upset the entire fan base. Whether it's championship games, SWAC Challenge, whatever the case may be. Alcorn used to be just the issue that we had to deal with under Odoms. Now it's anybody. Alcorn was our issue, and if that was the only issue, I'm okay with it. Now, and I don't think y'all realize what it took to have a program that Odoms built for this. We did a lot of complaining, but we also didn't peel back the layers of what really this program was going through with APR issues, no spring football, having to build a team with walk-ons. We complaining now about transfer players and scholarship guys that we're recruiting. Remember we had to do this with walk-ons? Let's take a break. Just let you think about that. Because a lot of times you don't know when you got something good until it's gone. Stay tuned. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
All right, let's pop it off. Perry, week 2, Power 5.
Man, this was tough, man. This time of the year in September, it's all over the place. I real life closed my eyes and kind of picked once you got to the bottom, but it was all honesty. I mean, everybody taking L's right now. Some people picking up wins, but nonetheless, I got North Carolina Central at number 5. They're 1-2 right now, Scotty. They lost to Old Dominion and they lost to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they got a victory over Southern in the first game of the year in the SWAC Challenge. They've kind of fallen down, but I think at some point, Trey Oliver get them back on track. But nonetheless, they're my number 5 team right now, North Carolina Central. And number 4, why not? Alabama A&M did something they ain't did since 2011. They beat Alcorn State. That has to mean something for somebody. And that means Sam Shade has the Bulldogs headed in the right direction if they're doing something they haven't done in years since 2011. So the Bulldogs got a victory over Alcorn. To me, right now, I put them at the number 4 spot. Another team in Alabama at the number 3 spots, the Hornets of Alabama State. We all saw what they did against UAB in that back and forth game, and they came down to Baton Rouge and late in the second half. They asserted their dominance, led by Andrew Body, their quarterback, and the rest of the staff, along with Eddie Robinson as their head coach, has them trended in the right direction. Right now, I think they're the 3rd best team in the nation when you look at the HBCUs. Then let's go to number 2. I'm going South Carolina State. I think Chennis Berry, you talked about it. I talked about it. How close of a game they really kept it in with South Carolina, the Gamecocks, who are ranked number 10 in the nation coming out of the SEC. They got that season open victory against Wofford. Right now, South Carolina State, to me, is still playing at an elite level when we talk about black college football. And I think Chennis Berry and that team is the number 2 team in the nation. And then going to Jackson State. Still the number 1 team in the nation. Of course, they had to go on the road and deal with Southern Miss. But I think nonetheless, they're going to have Tuskegee this week. Everything is still in front of them. They did what they need to do. They went and got a check. Now, let's see, can they win out with Jacoby Morgan, Ahmad Miller, and the rest of everybody else, along with T.C. Taylor as the head coach. So here's my top 5. It's going to change as the year go on. But right now, where we
1,134 pounds. If you haven't seen it once, then you only seen it twice. The Honey Bears. Break it down. Ride it, my pony. Oh yeah. Tell the Honey Bears to get some of this. Come on, for show some love. Show some love. Let them beat some truth.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to you all. I am Perry White, Talk 107.3 FM. Good morning, everybody listening on our FM waves across Baton Rouge, capital city area, and everybody out there watching on our YouTube and Facebook. Guess what? I still love Southern. I got love for everybody that I'm talking about this morning. No issues. Just we got to do better. The season is still ahead of us. But I'm telling you, when you get decisions like what's being made right now, the light starts to flash. It ain't no longer green, it's yellow. It's year 2 of Terrence Graves at Southern, right? I also have a respect for what it takes for programs, but I don't know what we want our identity to look like. I guess that's the other part to it too. I don't know what the identity is. I don't know what is being built to be. Ultimately, you see teams, and this is where we're building it to go. Bear with us in the process. But I'm telling you, this is what we want it to look like. I don't know what he wants this to look like. But I do have a respect for a coach that it is year 2. He just unfortunately went to the SWAC championship last year, and now he has set the standard so high for himself. So now when we look at it, that's what we're saying. But we moved on ultimately to be in this position. Every coach after Dawson Otis was supposed to win the championship and get over the hump of what Dawson Otis was not doing. But what I did like about Dawson Otis was the program. Consistency to the program, not a football team. Right now, we're just dealing with a football team every year. Nobody's saying what the football program, they're saying what the football team. That's the difference. But we're going to make this work. We're going to sit back. We're going to watch it. I'm telling you, when you get the change that just occurred this week, that's letting you know something. Conversations are being had. Seats are hot. We 3 games in, and you already relieved an offensive coordinator that you brought in just a year ago. Eric Dooley, let me remind you, didn't even make it 2 years on the Bluff. And you know why? As the offensive coordinator and the head coach, he couldn't blame it on nobody but himself. Now, here we go again with another offensive coordinator who has been relieved of his offensive play calling duty and now being transitioned over to play calling to Fred McNair. I don't know what to expect from Fred McNair as the offensive play caller, but I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give this team a chance. There's only 3 games in. Things can turn around. I'm not ready to jump off the ship, but the ship is sounding an alarm. The iceberg is ahead. Are we going to turn the ship or are we going to run straight into it? That's where we at right now. We're trying to turn this thing, and I hope we turn it the right way. But all the alarms are sounding, letting us know what's ahead, trouble ahead, danger ahead. You don't make drastic decisions like this 3 games into the season, and if that's not the case. Southern takes on Fresno today. I don't got much on that game because I don't expect much of that game. I'm in Baton Rouge, as you can see. Take the week off. I ain't got no problem. I'm going to watch LSU in Florida later. Take it as you want. I don't care. Go watch some football. Try to refresh myself, regroup. We got a bye week. Get ready for Jackson State. Fans, stay on board. Terrence Graves at least made a decision to, I don't know if he would have said Mark Frederick still calling plays, running inside zone left and right. I think that would have really did it for us. It would have been just as much as Eric Dooley playing in our face, telling us what we don't want to hear. So I will give Coach Graves that. Thank you for at least starting there, Coach Graves. Thank you. I got nothing but love for all y'all. But damn it, we're going to have to do better. Like when your grades at school down, consider this, coaches, your grades in school down, and you got to come home with that progress report. Before we get to that report card at the end of the year, I can get on you and let you know we got to do better. Because you know what? You can always pull a grade up. You may have a D now. You can pull that D to a B. That's why I leave hope. It's just the progress report right now. But right now, I'm getting everything. You know, at the bottom it says, right now you're talking excessively in class. You're not paying attention. You're playing when the teachers, hey, I ain't getting no good reports from you. And your grades are down. You got D's and borderline F's. We got to be, hey, by the time we get to the end of this semester, you're going to have to pull them grades up. And I'm talking about we all want A's, but come on now. As far down as you is, you're not going to class. Come on now. I just wanted to make it plain and simple in school. Get your grades up, Southern football. And stop interfering for them people on the board and everybody else. And next time, call me. Call somebody. Stop picking from what your memories are and pick for what's right. And because of where we at today, I got to ride with it, and I'm going to ride with it. Coach Graves, I'm on board with you. But if it's a game I feel that it's going to go the opposite way like it was last week, I got to roll with it. But I'm on board with you, my man. And all of us need to be on board. It ain't time to jump the ship. Let's continue to support. We're just being critical this morning. That's love. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't be critical. But I love you. I love this staff. Let's do better. Let's get it headed in the right direction. Southern fan out there, stay on board. Let's make sure we still get the support. We ain't jumping off this ship. It's still Southern at the end of the day. My love lies within the institution and never the individual, because individuals come and go. The institution will be there forever. And I leave you with that. Be sure to follow the Jaguar Journal on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for my man Mike, who showed up to the game last week. You know what he said? He was tired of seeing inside zone. He said Southern just runs the same plays over and over. That's all I needed to hear. And for all of you guys out there, I love you. Good luck to the Jags over there in Fresno, California. And I hope you guys have a great week. And I'll be back next week to talk to you. All right, stay tuned. More to Jaguar Journal. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.